Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, episode 30, being episode something of the second season, I don't remember. But yeah, episode 30, in any case, another episode, and yeah, I wonder where Sanraku is gonna end up after jumping into that black pit of darkness, or whatever it was. A bit of housekeeping, I guess, at the beginning. You might have noticed that I have not been uploading quite as much as usually, and you might have also noticed that this video is gonna be late. Well, that's because of a combination of a couple of factors. First of all, well, actually, just one thing, really. Super low motivation and super low energy to just live and exist and do things, which comprises, I would assume, a little bit of burnout, a little bit of the weather being absolutely fucking garbage, a little bit of, I don't know, external factors or internal factors, or call them what you will. And so I've been kind of just coasting through the last days, and I don't know when that is gonna end exactly, but hopefully eventually, and hopefully before spring comes. I know that I'm gonna feel better in spring for sure, and in the summer, but I'd rather not, wait this long until that happens. So yeah, in general, I'm like super low energy and super low motivation and super low everything. Preferably, I would just sleep the whole day, but I don't feel sleepy most of the time, so it's just whatever. But yeah, we are here with Shangri-La Frontier, so hopefully YouTube will not just completely shit on my channel because something is going out. I'm uploading something, right? I mean, I do enjoy Shangri-La Frontier, so it's not like I'm uploading it under duress because I'm afraid that YouTube is gonna do something, but yeah, YouTube is known to like deboost channels that don't upload at least a couple times a week from my experience. Anytime that I've been ill for like a week and I haven't been uploading, then I can see the next week the views are from like 300 to 30 or something like that. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen this time. We'll see. But yeah, regardless of my personal perils, let's talk about the previous episode. What happened exactly? What happened exactly? That's a very good question. Right. Sanraku and Emul went back to Rabituza. No, not quite. Sanraku went to hunt the crystal scorpions because why not, right? Nice bit of pocket change, and maybe the materials are gonna be useful as well, and mostly for XP as well. And should he be defeated during that fight, well, he's gonna just return back to Rabituza, so he's not gonna have any issue going there. Because Emul is there, and without Emul, he doesn't have any other means of access, but just being resurrected there is a means of access. As it turns out, that's exactly how he got to Rabituza, because his method of farming the crystal scorpions was nerfed, patched, if you will. The behavior of scorpions is different now. Now they no longer just mindlessly crash into each other, but rather, when the player disappears, they also hide, and when the player reappears, they jump out of their hiding and ambush the player, and that's how Sanraku perished this time around without getting any materials, unfortunately. And that's been eating at him the whole time. But the good news was that B figured out the magical something unit, right? Something like that, and it is headwear. So Emul had a good instinct there. It's some sort of a visor that allows her to see through the internal workings of ancient weapons or something along those lines, and she's fairly confident that she's going to be able to figure it out. So Sanraku left her a bow, which is a weapon that nobody who has access to Inventoria right now uses, so losing a bow is no big deal, even if B were to just completely dissect and destroy it. And B also came up with a plan, an idea, a dream, call it what you will, of creating an ancient weapon like those from Inventoria, and to make it, she wants to use crystal scorpion materials. Because of course, because they will be strong enough, because they will give the weapon some great properties, or whatever other reason, she wants to use those mats. And so Sanraku drops a bunch. B of course says that, you know, I might mess up, some of those materials might go to waste, but Sanraku knows it full well that, yeah, you're gonna screw up the first few times you try something new, but you're gonna get it anyway. Eventually, he knows he's a garbage game player, and he has no issue leaving plenty of materials with her and going to farm a bunch more. He gets an idea how he can create a new exploit. After witnessing something fall to the ground, can't remember what it was exactly. I don't think it was an apple, that would be a little bit too much on the nose. It might have been though. I'm not sure, honestly. Right, he bought Emul a new spellbook as well. Some sort of a glowing chain that keeps enemy in place or something like that, or allows them to tether to an enemy in any case. And yeah, Sanraku needed a skill point to fulfill his new idea for an exploit when it comes to crystal scorpions. And so they went to hunt in the undead area. They even encountered the Dullahan and made a very short work of it, thanks to their combo attacks and the new spell that Emul got, and thanks to Sanraku just growing stronger over time, of course. He got a level, he leveled up the skill that he wanted, and went on to send Emul back to Rabituza so that she waits for him. He didn't want to endanger her, of course, and so he went to face against the Crystal Scorpions, aggroed them, and kited them all the way to some sort of a ravine hole thing. I'm not sure what kind of a place it is. Is it a hole leading to a new zone? Is it just a landscape feature, or what is it exactly? And used his skill to jump and hover mid-air for a while and double jump and stuff like that, so that he doesn't die of fall damage. The scorpions tried to stop, but there were simply too many of them, and the sheer momentum just carried them over the ledge, and they all fell, hopefully to their death caused by fall damage. And Sanraku will use his skills to safely get down, gather the materials, and there. And he's gonna be able to deliver them to B, sell whatever B doesn't need, and gain a bunch of money and get some cool new weapons. Yeah, that's the plan at least. Whether that plan will succeed or not, I don't know. That black hole still seems very, very sus to me, right? Like, it didn't look like just an edge of a cliff, right? Like the cliff that he had to climb to even get to the Crystal Scorpion land, right? It looked like a hole in the middle of the Crystal Scorpion zone, and holes usually lead somewhere, even if that somewhere is the bottom of that hole. So we'll see what he encounters when he gets down, and if he gets his materials, or what happens exactly, right? Shall we? Oh, and in a previous couple of episodes, there was no minis, but I heard that this episode has a mini. Heard it on my Discord, so that's fun. That's nice. I like minis. They are a very fun part of every single episode. Well, not every single one, but every single one episode where they appear, they're a fun part of it. That's how I'm gonna put it. Regardless, let's just watch it, right? Shall we? To do it, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Shangri-La Frontier episode 30 in 3, 2, 1, go. Intro, of course. Right, another factor probably why I'm feeling so bad the last couple of days. I stopped drinking coffee. That could also be a part of it, right? I mean, I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I drink what amounts to like coffee milk, basically a single glass of it every day. That's not much coffee, is it? Right? Like a double shot espresso and just a whole glass of milk, right? I don't know. I mean, it's still a double shot espresso, so. How do I know? Because I got a coffee today, and I'm feeling better than usual. I guess I should go back to drinking coffee to be anywhere like livable, alive. I was thinking of getting some whatchamacallit, energy drinks like Sanraku does, because energy drinks are the only drinks, only soft drinks or carbonated drinks that actually have some interesting flavors, right? Like you can get an energy drink that's like pomegranate with mint and basil or whatever, and then you go to look at the juices and soft drinks, and it's like orange, lime, orange, lime, apple, lemon, apple. But yeah, I'm not a fan of energy drinks. They're also expensive, and coffee is comparatively cheap. How long until this gets patched? The impetus of hunger, the persistence of thirst. Well, that's a big title. No. Environmental kills don't give you XP. Right? Oh, so you're not after mats, you're after XP. They're still falling. Or they managed to de-aggro while falling because it was taking so long. Oh, that's a boss, isn't it? Yeah, that's an area boss. Let's see you coax that thing into the pit. Glorious CG. Or is it like a champion monster? Like a variant? Yeah, a champion. I mean, yeah, it's a solo fighter ultimately. It's bigger though. More mass, more momentum. Yeah. Just parry. Yeah, it is strong. No, a little bit too tough of a nut to crack. Maybe not. The way to fight them, I'd imagine, is probably something like using a heavy weapon to crack the armor and then use that weak spot. Also, still no XP, so they're still falling. Or they de-aggroed. Unless this counts as part of the encounter, and it's not that you get XP when the enemy is killed, but you get it at the end of the encounter. Maybe that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wide attack. uh, can't dodge bird shot. And back to Rabituza. No, Inventoria. And Saraku found a new nemesis. He's not gonna rest until he gets rid of that scorpion. It also seems to be corrosive, because I see one of the pillars kind of like chewed through. And it's not the scorpion's melee attack because it's super sharp. So the crystal would be cut, not dissolved. Yeah? Eliminate the possibility of ranged attacks. Right. Yeah, makes sense actually. Usually enemies that use poison are somewhat resistant to poison though. I guess it's not poison, but corrosive poison. Okay, yeah, so essentially what I thought, break the armor, create a weak spot, and then attack that weak spot. Is it gonna summon ads? No, it's evolving. Or healing, I guess. There are still gaps in armor though. So you just gotta make sure to not allow it to regenerate. Just keep hitting it. Which is easier said than done, of course, but still, that would be the way to go. Is today's entire episode just gonna be the fight with the scorpion? Good plan, sure. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I was about to say, could it be that the moon is relevant for all of the colossi? I can't remember what sort of a moon was up when Sarak was fighting the Lycagon. Oh, weapon durability. At least it's not particularly aggressive, so... Oh, something moon-related. Maybe that's gonna work. Right. Right, easy way to dodge the bird shot. It deaggroed. No. Although that would be a perfectly whatchamacallit. Whatever. I forgot the word. Oh, the pile driver attack. Yeah, that works. It landed like a cat, though. Hmm. Right. They can turn into a sword. And yeah, he's right. There's a lot of moon-related things in Shangri-La. Yeah, just like that. Poison attack neutralized. The enemy is still alive though, so the pincers are still a problem. Right, the new skill. Oh, just gonna grab this as loot. Quickly put it in inventoria. Out of mana? No. Thankfully not. You're down a weapon though. Second phase? Or some sort of a rage state. Mm-hmm. And that's gonna summon more scorpions. Yep, sure enough. use the add to create more inertia and drop them all. Yeah, probably. Are you? Yeah? Aggroing as many of them as possible to create that critical mass? Or maybe not. Okay, yeah, sure. That's also a plan. Disappear into Inventoria. They're gonna lose aggro on Sanraku. They're gonna start attacking each other. Right? That's the plan? Mm-hmm. Or maybe without the disappearing act. Yeah, with the disappearing act. Smart? How are you gonna get rid of the ads there? Because there's a lot of them. And I don't think you'd be willing to pass up the loot from the Golden Scorpion. Sure, I guess that will work. Is it still alive, perchance? No. That's a severed pincer. I mean, technically you didn't, but just a technicality. Huh? Oh, I guess it only lost a pincer. Ooh, I like the burning effect between the armor plates. That looks cool. At least it's plenty weakened, right? Only a single pincer, probably low on HP. Yeah, now it's a legit duel. 1v1 at noon. The enemy is weakened through, nefarious means, but still. Oh, that's a new attack. Ranged. Oh, right, that's a grenade that he got. How strong is it? Plenty strong. Not quite the WMD I was expecting, but not a Stardew Valley cherry bomb either. Still alive, though. That's one tough motherfucker. Gotta give it that. That's a cool effect. Poetic. Right. I mean, yeah, you only cut off the stinger. The tail is still there. Yeah? You left your green daggers embedded in it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just a bit of a rodeo. Which is to his benefit because he can inject the ability like straight into the head. Yeah? Or with the help of random mobs around it. So, not a clean win, but a win. That's what counts. The game allowed for it, so, it's fair. God damn, 20 levels! Is that level cap? Is he level capped now? Yeah, the entire episode was just the fight with the scorpion. It's gonna be a bit of a shorter video, I guess, because I don't think there's gonna be all that much to talk about in the discussion section. This time, legitimately. Usually when I see that, the video ends up being an hour and a half anyway, but this time I really don't think there's gonna be all that much. I was pretty certain that Sanraku is gonna jump down that hole and he's gonna meet the new character there. But I guess not. It really seems that sequence breaking the Colossus quest line essentially allows him to sequence break the rest of the game, right? And there's the mini. A day in the life of Emul. That's nice. Very good question. When a tree falls in the forest when nobody sees it, did it really fall? Of course. Of course she's gonna be cleaning. Sure. Yeah. Basically. She's precious. She's so incredibly precious. Alrighty. That's the episode. So, let's watch it again, shall we? Intro and OP. There we go. The impetus of hunger, the persistence of thirst. Sure, I guess. Yeah. XP not rolling in yet. The fact that hasn't happened means the battle isn't over yet. That's an interesting mechanic where you only get the XP once the battle is over. Right? Like usually you defeat a goblin and you get 10 XP. And if you're fighting 20 goblins, then for each goblin you defeat, you get 10 XP. But it seems that in Shangri-La, you fight 20 goblins, and once you're done with all 20 of them, you get 200 XP instead. Which is... well, question is, what counts for the battle being over, right? Say you fight 5 goblins, it turns out it's a little bit too hard for you, you're not prepared, you don't have the healing potions or whatever, you run away. Do you still get your 50 XP? Or do you just lose everything? Is it just all or nothing kind of system? Or can you still get partial XP from an encounter? Right? If it's the former, that would be very punishing. But I guess it would also prevent people from doing what Sanraku did here, technically. Right? Because often in MMOs, and not just MMOs, it's a thing in like Borderlands 2, for example. There's a DLC, something Peak, Hollow Peak, something like that. It's like a gauntlet kind of a DLC with super high level enemies, and you can go there at the very beginning of your playthrough, sit in a specific corner, aggro an enemy, and that enemy is gonna fall into a pit, exactly like it's happening here, and you get a whole entire boatload of XP that way. Right? So it would be a means of preventing people from going up against a level 30 enemy at level 5, defeating one of them by some stroke of luck or some sort of an exploit, and getting a bunch of XP for that. That does not account for Sanraku, though. So I wonder which is it. Yeah, one more left. And much more than just that one. Whole entire champion, rare monster, unique... Well, not a unique monster, that's a specific term in Shangri-La. But in many games, this would be a champion variation. So yeah, rare enemy. I'm not gonna talk much about the CG here because it's clearly visible that at times the entire fucking scene is CG. Although they did not do a bad job, especially when it comes to like marrying the CG with the 2D, right? It doesn't look too grating. The movements, kinda, mostly because it's animated on once, which is like one of the biggest giveaways, dead giveaways of something being CG. And I've seen many shows nowadays understand that and animate even their CG stuff on 2s, and that makes it a little bit less jarring, a little bit less glaring. They didn't do that in Shangri-La, though. In here, it's still animated on ones, which gives it a very distinct look from Sanraku here, for example, being animated on 2s, right? Is there any particular moment when they interact in like a bigger capacity where we can see the difference in frame rate? Kinda. Yeah, Sanraku here is animated on 3s even, while the Scorpion is still on 1s. Yeah, it can be jarring. Not particularly in this case though, so sure, it's fine. I'm assuming that's a CG environment, because the goop is certainly CG. Yeah, back to Inventoria. That is really like the biggest crutch that Sanraku has at his disposal. It's essentially an instant get out of there button. It allows him to get out of any encounter, get out of any sort of a situation, even if it won't get him exactly out of that situation, right? Say he's falling into a bottomless pit, he can get to Inventoria, but when he leaves, he's gonna continue falling, sure, but it gives him time to go back, think things through calmly, right? Analyze things, look at his options, maybe use some items in the safety of Inventoria, right? Like, I can imagine having a teleportation scroll or something like that, and it might have a cast time precisely to prevent people from using it to get out of some sort of an encounter. Not a problem. Get into Inventoria instantly, and then you have all the time in the world to use any sort of a recall, teleportation scroll, or whatever else. It really is the biggest crutch that Sanraku has. But yeah, as I was saying, fighting Weathermon and winning caused a sequence break, right? We know that you're supposed to go through the Colossi in order, and Weathermon is not the first one. I believe Weathermon is somewhere near the end of the desired progression, right? Something like that. So presumably by the time you get to the Weathermon fight, you are strong enough to defeat this Crystal Scorpion, this Gold Scorpion, right? Maybe with some issues, but in general you should be able to defeat it. So you getting access to Inventoria is no big deal, because you've already proven that you can defeat enemies as strong as this Golden Scorpion, so you getting a free get out of jail card doesn't really change much. But because Sanraku got the Inventoria so early, he's able to cheese so many things that did not account for him having access to it. So, as I said, sequence breaking on the Weathermon allows him to sequence break so many more things. That's what makes him faster. Yeah, armor with less coverage usually makes the wearer a little bit more agile. Presumably, if the armor is also a little bit lighter, right? Like Sanraku said, that it's a little bit less tough, so presumably also a little bit less heavy. Yeah, that could account for the speed, but sure enough, there are gaps. I expected those gaps to be unarmored though, but apparently they still have some layer of armor on them. I expected Sanraku to basically inject this corrosion poison somewhere in the tail, and the corrosion to just chew through the tail so that it falls off. But no, it just managed to burn through the under layer of armor. Yeah, regeneration and just everything. Great offense, great defense, regeneration on top, ranged attacks, melee attacks, fucking everything rolled into a single enemy. And just like one single counter, essentially. Don't let it heal. And how are you gonna do that? Well, you either have enough mobility so that you can make it up to that pillar and prevent it from regenerating, or you stop its mobility somehow, like removing one of the pincers to prevent it from doing the praise the sun and regenerating that way. Yeah, certainly reminiscent of a Colossus. Although all of the Colossi that Sanraku faced so far were way above his league, right? Lycagon was just complete no-sell, and Weathermon needed that help from Towa and Kay, right? It needed all those resurrection items, it needed all that prep. So this Scorpion is still a little bit less than the Colossi. The moon played a part, yeah, it did play a part in Setsuna's story. There's a lot of weapons and items seemingly also named after the moon. This Scorpion uses moon. I would say it would be safe to assume that moon has some sort of a specific role in Shangri-La. Moon is special in Shangri-La. How is it special? I don't know. It could be that the advanced civilization of the past lives on the moon. It could be that moon is added as a zone in some future expansion, right? Like, we know that there are bits of sci-fi in Shangri-La. We know that for certain because it was told to us very early on, right? That Shangri-La is like an all game, it encompasses everything. It's not an outrageous thing to believe that they might go to the moon. Yeah? Expansion or unique scenario that takes place on the moon's surface. Yeah? Not unlikely, I would say. Does it absorb mana from the moon? So I guess the moon would also be some sort of a source of mana somehow. Yeah, durability. Not a fun thing. I've been watching a playthrough of Lies of P, and they really solved durability issue well in that game. If you don't know that, durability runs out as you swing your weapon around in Lies of P, but you have an unlimited grindstone, basically, that you can use at any time, so it adds that bit of tacticalness to every encounter, because you not only have to heal if you get damage, but even if you play perfectly and get no hits, right, like enemy doesn't hit you even a single time, you still have to take a bit of a break, you still have to look out for those breaks in enemy pattern to restore your weapon. Super cool mechanic. I couldn't play that game, but super cool mechanic. Yeah, just gotta defeat him before he can regenerate. Sure. But it can regenerate very fast, and you can't really do anything about it when you're inside of Inventoria. Except here. Yeah. Drove a wedge somewhere into its head. I thought initially that he might have jammed it somewhere into one of its pincers so that it can't like physically raise it, so that it can perform the Praise the Sun to get healed, but apparently stabbing it in the eye or whatever part of the body it is was enough. Maybe to cancel that skill, essentially, right? It acted like a stagger, canceled the skill cast, and yeah, sure. Yeah, secured at least this. I fully expected Saraku to just grab this stinger and bail. I fully expected that. But no. No, he's a gamer through and through. He's not gonna get out of an unfinished encounter, of course. Berserk. Yeah, ever since the Scorpion went Berserk, the CG started looking better. I don't know if it's just the effects they did here or the fire is obstructing things just enough, but everything looks a little bit more drawn, a little bit more 2D at times, right? Like the patterns here, for example. Amazing music all the way through. Just thought I'd mention that. Yeah, I really thought that he's gonna use the mass of all those tiny little scorpions to, get the big scorpion in front, then a bunch of ads behind him, so that even if the big scorpion stops in front of the gap, he gets pushed by the sheer mass of the smaller ones, which might have worked, honestly. But no, Saraku thought up a different plan. A different plan that kinda worked, but only kinda. Yeah, still alive. One tough motherfucker, as I already said. Yeah, that effect is drawn. This is 2D. And that looks good. That looks really good. And the grenade. I want to see the moment of explosion here. Yeah, that's a very nice explosion. Big cloud, camera shake, and then giving us another perspective. Cool. And really good sound design as well. And now the Scorpion looks actually good. With the, like, layer underneath its armor, kind of moving and glowing, right? And the texture looks a little bit better, I guess, and the animation is no longer on, like, on once, right? I think that might have actually been drawn, by the way. Maybe. Cool effects. Cool effects for cool attacks, of course. I like that we use the effect as a transition, right? That's also cool. We have a close-up on the pincer, attack, transition to Sanraku being in front, attack, transition to camera being pulled out a little bit more. And yeah, the weapons might be gone, but the hand that wields them is still there, of course. I expected Sanraku to just completely fail here, to be honest with you, and just make it out with the stinger, and then him being salty at himself for being so cocky, not securing the pincers, and going for the kill instead of grabbing the pincers, securing them when he had access to them, and then going for the kill, or something like that, is what I expected. But no. He used his skill, grabbed the daggers, and finished him off, just like that. I wonder if he got the Sun and Moon, or Waning and Rising Moon. I think those are the names of those daggers. Maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Something with the moon. Do they teleport back into his inventory, or are they lost? Does he have to pick them up physically? What are the rules of throwing weapons that are not thrown weapons themselves? Oh, that's just my cat snoring. 79 all the way to 99. God damn. I'm assuming, again, that the thing with you getting the level once the encounter is done is created specifically to prevent situations like that. But there's no stopping Sanraku. Because of course. And I think 99 is the level cap. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Wouldn't surprise me if level cap was like 99, but once you pick up the main quest for the expansion, it increases to like 120 or something like that. Because for a game as big as Shangri-La, having a level cap of 99 while they are still in like the third zone in a row, yeah. Unless literally like 75% of the game or however much is the end game, and you're expected to hit level cap really quick, and then your progression becomes not leveling, but like finding better gear, finding new skill books, or whatever. I don't know. A day in the life of Emul. She's so incredibly precious. What, is she my wife? In fact, if you didn't know yet, the VA of Sanraku and the VA of Emul are actually married. So, yes, Sanraku, she is your wife. In fact, when players are logged out, their avatars disappear. So we're not gonna learn what happens with Emul when the avatar disappears either. She either goes about her business, or she disappears as well. I don't know. It's oh man, it's really hard to think about the NPCs in Shangri-La as NPCs, isn't it? Like like I understand that Emul is just an NPC in a game, and so her disappearing when there's nobody to see her to save on like rendering resources and whatnot is fair and is probably what happens. But like she's a living being. She's the best character of the show. She can't possibly disappear, can she? That's so sad if that's what happens. Ah, yeah, there we go. There we go. So, episode 30 of Shangri-La Frontier. It was good. Sure, absolutely. It was a fun fight. It didn't give us anything, super ultra meaningful, right? Like, it didn't give us an alliance of clans. It didn't give us the reveal of any sort of a secret. It didn't give us any new scenario. It didn't give us any progression in B becoming ancient craftsman, or the progression in the quest line that Saraku secured with Vash, right? It didn't give us any of that. But in its own right, it was a fun fight episode, fun combat episode. Yeah, it was just fun. Kind of a mindless fun in a way, but fun nonetheless, with amazing music, with serviceable CG. And I mean, I guess there was a little bit of progression, right? Sanraku got a bunch of mats. At least the golden scorpion mats. I'm not sure how did he plan on getting the blue scorpion, the regular scorpion mats, after dropping them into a pit. Unless he wasn't planning on getting those mats and he just wanted the XP. But B asked him for mats, so he should have procured them. I don't know. He got golden scorpion mats at least, right? So that's what counts. And he got to, I presume, level cap. So that's also important. That's 20 levels of skill points. So his build is gonna look a lot different in the next episode. I hope they show us all of the skills that he takes. That would be cool. He's probably gonna be facing a... Well, we don't know how exactly quests work in this game, because I was about to say that he's gonna face a deluge of quests. After skipping 20 levels, there's gonna be a bunch of quests that unlock at level, 80, 82, 84, 85, and whatnot. But it's probably not how it works in Shangri-La, so we'll see. He's probably gonna get new weapons, because I'm assuming he's gonna be over leveled for the weapons that he has, and now he's gonna be able to get some level cap weapons, which is perfect because B is gonna make him a new set, right? Yeah, it all kind of ties together, doesn't it? Cool. Sure. Cute. Very cute. The mini, right? Shangri-La Theater. That was cool. I love Emul. Two characters. Two characters in this season. Well, Emul appeared in the previous season of Shangri-La, right? But in this current season of anime, two characters that have all of the like properties of a mascot, but are so much more than just a mascot. Emul and Turbo Granny from Dan Da Dan. Yeah. And they both have one thing in common. They're not just mascots. They are full-blown, proper characters with their own motivations, with their own actions, with their own minds and everything else. So I guess that's a recipe for making a good mascot character. Just make them a character first, a mascot second. Yeah. Good episode. I had fun. And I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys No, that's not time for that yet. I'm curious about you guys. What did you think about this episode? My reaction, my theories. Leave your comments down below. No spoilers, please. As always, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Shangri-La, but also Mao 2099, Dan, Mahonare, Mecha Ude, Mao 2099, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when those videos go up and when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zerene, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight a golden scorpion. That was